This book is demonic. The demon wants you to make it look beautiful, and is given Muhammad the power to do these miracles, to make it so that people are led astray from the true God, Jesus Christ. How would you respond to that?
Sure. For example, without the Sumerian tablets, is the Bible sufficient enough to explain the creation?
Is the Bible sufficient enough to
explain the creation?
Yeah. 100%.
But the Sumerian tablets talks about the creation. These are the oldest account of the creation story. Now, just because they are the oldest and the Bible is very much similar, about 17 examples in chronological order, you would say the Bible actually copied from there, right? But these are what the scholars say, the similarities and differences. But you can argue, Bible can prove itself, in your belief, right, on its own merit, independent of what was in the past.
100%.
I say the same thing. The Quran can prove itself is from God, independent of relying to any scripture or any text whatsoever.
So can I ask for your personal? I have no rebuttals for it, but can you explain to me in your own words proof of Muhammad being a prophet?
Sure. So when we say someone is a prophet of God, he is claiming that he's received revelation. He has revelation that is from God, not from anyone else. Okay.
Agreed.
I can give you a short answer and a long answer if you are willing to listen. The short answer is he brought proof and evidence for his prophethood.
Go point for point. So what's the proof?
Yeah. So proof. So whatever he brought is something that demonstrates it cannot be from any other than God. The Quran. The Quran is the revelation that Prophet Muhammad brought, and the Quran challenges people because the Quran recounts the story. Oh, they say it's the tales of the ancient, because it talks about the ancient history.
That's the belief,
because the Quran says, remember the story of this and story of Hyde and Samud, the story of Jesus and Moses, and the people often say, look, it's just telling the stories of the ancients. And the Quran says, if you think it's just the stories of the ancients, it's something that the Prophet forged it, falsified. Bring something like the Quran, a book like it, 10 chapters like it, or one surah like it. A surah is like a chapter, but it's actually a thematic unity of the Quran. It's not like a chapter. And the single pieces of this thematic unity are called ayah, or evidences, which in the biblical terms is called verses, but it's not a verse, right? So you know, Quran, surah and ayah, these are the three fundamental terms in the Islamic paradigm. When the Quran challenged that, the people at that time were masters and expert in the language, and when in poetry, in prose,
theologically ideals,
the linguists, experts. So when the Quran said, bring something like the Quran, because the Quran came in a form, in a stylistic,
5 years, is it?
23.
23.
Close enough. In a stylistic, which is how the Quran is structured, how it is composed, that stylistic was totally unlike anything the Arabs knew at their time, whether poetry, prose and so on. And this challenge is open today. If someone is doubting that the Quran is from God, they can imitate a chapter. The fact that people are still failing to do so, it should really make people think, why are they unable to? That means the Quranic falsification test is still standing, and the claim that if you cannot make something like it, if you cannot make it even with your artificial intelligence AI models, right? I had a more than 1 hour discussion with AI on this very thing.
Do you believe it can also, AI and other explanations can just go in circles to the point where there actually isn't an end in all consensus?
No, the way the stylistic is such, the Quranic language is way structured. If you were to imitate something like this, you would not be able to speak that language, and you would not be able to accept this language by any Arab. For example, when I'm speaking to you, when I am speaking, if I said, when I are speak to you, I are speak to you, you'd say that's not English, sorry mate. So Quran is such a structure, if you want to imitate something like this, it becomes something like this. Unacceptable, uneloquent statement which you would say, no, that is not something that we would ever speak like this. But the Quran, the thing that he spoke about in that structure was the most eloquent, as attested by their most experts at that time and even today. So that is one falsification test Quran offered. He brought many miracles which somehow the Christians and atheists don't know. They only think he split the moon, right?
So, aside from the moon split and traveling to the heavens on whatever it is,
I'll stick with this.
wing thing with
I'll stick with this challenge of the Quran.
what other miracles?
If the Quran, no, look, one is enough to disprove the
I want to
Quran.
know more, just for me. For me.
Okay. Falsification test when it comes to contradictions. Quran says, had this book been from any other than God, you will find there are many ikhtilaf and many discrepancies or inconsistencies or contradiction. Yeah. So if the Quran, and it does, over 23 years, talk about so many different things. History, science, economics, social things, morality, you name it, every avenue of life,
There definitely is
about God, about your purpose in life. If it was a human product over 23 period of time, you'd expect someone to actually contradict themselves on the same issue at the same time, about the same subject and about the same context. Yeah.
To some degree. I feel like over 23 years, even if
Have you not changed? Have I not changed?
If I mention this from an atheistic standpoint, I'll say it from the atheist standpoint. Over 23 years, if something's coming down in drips and drabs, you can make it so that there isn't any errors, and you can manipulate text to make it look like there's no errors, because it's constantly under review.
But if the text is there and he's constantly delivering the same consistent speech, what I said 15 years ago, I've changed my mind in various things.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And I'm sure most people do that. We change because we develop in knowledge and experience. We learn, we grow, and we mature.
That's very
true. We become wiser. That's how our views change. The Quran, in its views, is like static in its message. So that's why you should expect contradictions from various fields, various avenues, but it's just not findable. So that's another falsification test. Okay? And from his hadith, the statement of the Prophet, the various reported authentic miracles that he's performed. Many miracles you will see, it looks similar to miracles what? Is that an ambulance, air ambulance?
Hopefully they're okay, whoever it is.
Okay, at least help is here. They can take to the hospital straight away.
How long were they there?
Yeah.
I think they're just fundraising. Fundraising.
Fundraising, okay. No real patients. So when we talk about the authenticated miracles of the prophets, there's so many miracles. Feeding the poor with some amount of food. Things that you will say, I heard this like what Jesus Christ did and so on. Many, many miracles like this. Some things spoke.
As in giving people food.
Imagine from one bottle of water, you quench the thirst of 500 people.
I've fed from one carrier bag,
No.
30 people. Just one carrier bag.
Yeah. If I give you one loaf of bread,
I've done a miracle.
if I give you one loaf of bread, can you feed 500?
If you break it small enough.
Fully fed. No small crumb. So there are authentic miracles like this, but the most strongest miracle or the proof is the Quran. The Quran, so these were the two falsification tests. There are many, but there are other positive evidence in the Quran. When you study it, you feel like, how did he know this?
So if I put forward a different angle, if someone says to you that the Quran is only made to look like a miracle because it was sent by a demon who could manipulate a text to look like a miracle, how would you respond to that? So, and essentially, from the Christian standpoint, the Quran would be a demonic book in the sense that it's sent in order to take people away from believing Jesus is God. So, although it looks beautiful, and I have no issue with it, and I'm not coming from any angle because I don't know what I believe, how would you combat that point? So I say to you, this book is demonic, the demon wants you to make it look beautiful, and is given Muhammad the power to do these miracles, to make it so that people are led astray from the true God, Jesus Christ. How would you respond to that?
Sure. It's an interesting question that people often ask. So this assumes demon exists, and as a Christian you believe that. So from your paradigm, there are demons. But demons are creation of God. They do not have the knowledge of God or the power of God, right? So when the Quran challenged all of mankind and the jinn, the demons are part of the jinn. If they fail, then the falsification test is still stable because even the demons cannot produce it. Right.
How would you say, well, you get that from the concept of the Quran or the Bible?
Demons, if the demon were one demon did it or many, they should be able to say, I can match it, because the challenge is out there. So the challenge is, it's from God. So to demons to demonstrate actually it's not from God, they have to meet up the challenge.
So how
Otherwise,
would you demonstrate it's not from God? Or is from God?
Someone has to, including demons, to meet the challenge. The fact that they're not meeting the challenge, they're failing, it shows the demons are not able to. In fact, the Quran makes this point. وَمَا تَنَزَّلَتْ بِهِ شَيَاطِينَ وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لَهُمْ. It is not revealed or sent down by the demons, and it's not something they're able to do so anyway. And it says, when you فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. When you are about to read the Quran, recite the Quran, seek refuge with God from the accursed demon and Satan. And so now we have a demon.
Can I add to that? Just before
Can
you
I?
make your next point. Because that seems like one point.
No, I want to give you a full picture of why it cannot be from demon.
But then I got a rebuttal for the point you've just made.
Go ahead.
Because in demonology, demons can often fight with each other. So they don't come down just as a collective. They can occupy many different ways of being. Ways of being. So let's say this one demon goes, actually, no, I want to appear to not meet your challenge and throw myself down before you, so that these people believe that this false God is actually God, in order for us to lead the people astray.
Yeah.
So that's the point I'm making. So
no problem.
The demon will naturally submit.
Let's understand that. So you have a demon who's trying to be good. So then there goes the whole idea of a demon. Demon in their nature, they're not good. They do not command what is good, forbid what is right. And the Quran throughout consistently commands all that is good and forbids all that is wrong. It tells you Jesus is a mighty prophet of God, a mighty messenger, a truthful.
It does say that. Yeah.
Right.
I've read it.
Right. Demons should paint the picture about some people should be misled in worshipping God, because the whole idea is to take people away from worshipping God. And this demon is saying, worship one and only true God. Avoid false gods. The true message of anything that is divinely inspired should be, you should worship none but God. And that's what the Quran does throughout. You should worship none but God and avoid false gods. So what kind of demon is it doing the acts of God? What kind of demon is saying worship God and take me as your enemy? And it tells you, I will do all the things which are bad. I will command you all that is evil, and avoid me and do good. Be nice.
Be nice.
Wait.
Yeah.
Be kind. Be just. Be truthful. Feed the poor. Look after the.
That's where the point went missing.
Wait.
But you just missed the point.
Wait. I've not finished, my friend.
But you didn't understand.
I will address this point. Right? Give me the time to respond. Feed the poor. Look after the orphan. Be just. Do not insult. Do not mock. Right? Do not abuse. Do not exploit. So everything that everything that all decent human beings agrees on, you're saying the demon commands you to do that. And everything that universally everyone accepts, all that is evil thing, murder, rape, genocide, ethnic cleansing, you name it, everything, don't do it. And you're saying this is a good demon. Then by that worth, demon cannot be called a demon by any way, shape or form. What you're saying is, there seems to be some kind of deception going on. Now, if I were to now turn the table, I say the same thing about every other scripture. It's all from the demon, including Bible. By the way, I don't believe that.
Yeah, that's
the second argument.
No, I understand.
I don't believe the Bible is from the demon, right? Yeah. But I'm just saying, if I now turn the table for the sake of argument, somebody said, the Bible is actually inspired by the demon to make you think Jesus is God and worship God
Valid argument.
Right. How do you respond to that?
So you're basing it from the census that Islam is true. As the newer religion, Islam, as a Muslim, you would have to firstly prove that Christianity isn't true before drawing the comparison between both books.
No.
The point of the demons being good is to say the only achievement and the only goal of Satan is to make all of mankind not believe Jesus is the Son of God and also God.
What if
The demon may present itself in a way in which is good, and Satan can drive many away. Demons as a whole can even ignore the whole of humanity if they are atheists because they know that's their safe space. Demonology isn't just about attacking people who believe in them, it's also keeping the atheists and non-believers where they are. So for instance, the demons will say, this book is from God. We're going to show you all the good things. And when this book confirms everything which is bad, in our worldly opinion, and what God teaches us, we will then walk away from it and believe in this book.
So where is the demon?
Solidifies the
Which part of out of all of these things, demon commands you to do good, avoid the bad. Which part
is bad?
Is proving that it's from demon?
The part which is the biggest goal, which is to stop people believing that Jesus Christ is Lord.
So this is an assumption that this is the case. So now you have to prove that this Bible is not from the demon, and Jesus indeed is from God, or God Himself. So your criticism was based on assumptions, two assumptions.
Don't forget, it wasn't my criticism. I was bringing an argument
Of course.
from another angle.
This argument rests on two presuppositions or assumptions. The Bible is not from the demon, and Jesus is God. So now, what are the arguments to say that the Bible is not from the demon, and the Bible, Jesus indeed is God?
Exactly. So again, when you look at the crucifixion happening, it happened or didn't it?
It didn't.
It didn't happen according to
History.
Islam.
History.
Islam.
No. So you don't know about history.
Atheists don't believe so.
No.
Atheists.
Those atheists don't know about history. History attests that there are many people, there were so many enough to believe and to know and accept that Christ was not crucified, that the early church fathers like Irenaeus, and Origen, they had to write books against these people. Early church fathers. Imagine now, is there a need to write something about something which no one talks about? Because no one's going to care anything about it. But if the belief is so much ingrained in the public, you have to deal with it. Now, how does a belief so early becomes well known? It's because that belief was established well early. People believed and accepted it way early. So that means Jesus that he was not crucified was a very early form of the belief of the Christians.
So essentially, the apostles, through apostolic succession, passed these stories down, and eventually
That's one form.
it was written off.
That's one form. Jesus was crucified was one group of people believed, another group of people he did not get crucified. So now you cannot discern
And then a whole group of people saw that he descended and said to him,
no one
that he was crucified
we do not have
and risen on the third day.
No, a single eyewitness.
we do not have a single eyewitness account of anyone.
The apostles were eyewitnesses.
Which one?
To the ascension
Which one?
and descension.
Which one? Where is this writing?
Which there's literally this whole story in the Bible.
No.
But
This
you would
story.
have to prove the Bible isn't true.
Wait. The books written by anonymous authors say the apostles believed and saw this, right? It's not the apostle writing. It's written by someone else. Second, third person. Who are this person? They're not eyewitness themselves. So we don't have an eyewitness account. That's the big problem for Christianity
And like
historically.
I said, I'm here to learn. So
Yeah.
carry on.
We are discussing
Also,
to make
make
a
sure
learn.
when you put it on YouTube, you title it "Nice Man with Man's Horn."
You have to title this discussion so in no way disrespects my friend here. Okay? We're having a discussion in a very academic
Fair
spirit
discussion.
of learning from each other, right? So very warn to your editors, if I see that you have done this, I'm going to complain. Anyway.
It's fair. You seem much better in person than you do on other videos.
Because that's what people do. They distort your image.
I thought you were so annoying on the internet. I was like, this guy, I can't stand
Depends who
him.
he is talking to.
Depending on who I'm watching, what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a bit of bias, because I did come here and I'm like, oh, not this guy. But I said, the YouTube guy, I'll speak to him, I'll have a fair conversation, have a chance. But like I said, at no point am I a person of knowledge. I don't study this, nor do I debate. I don't
Keep learning.
I don't want to either. I'm just here to learn.
But do you accept now that there is no direct eyewitness account in the Bible? It's just hearsay.
No, because I can't take your word for it. The same way you can't take my word for it. I would have to go home.
He will research.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
And that's it.
Fair
So
enough.
I can take your opinion, and I'll gladly accept your opinion. But my knowledge has to come from what I study. So I can only trust.
reading.
I take your word with humbleness and accept it. But at the end of the day, I can't just trust a man's face.
You know, after a long time, I've heard a very fair approach.
I'm fair.
Of course.
Brother, pleasure.
Nice talking
Bless
to
you.
you.
God bless
Take
you.
care.
Peace
Take
be
care.
upon you.
Perhaps we can talk again another time. Okay, you take care. And you too.
Lovely to meet you, man.
You too. You too. What's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Simon.
Simon. Mansour. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you, my
Take
brother.
care. Take care.
All the best.
All the best.